welcome to FEG PC's round 2 of segment 2 of their in-house truck series at Gateway, also known as Worldwide Technology Speedway. It's going to be a fun night around this 1.25-mile racetrack. A lot of competitors are trying to get used to the circuit out here. Very different than what they've been used to in the past. Definitely not a cookie-cutter track, definitely not a speedway, but tonight the racers will be using a 65% fuel limit, 2 sets of tires allotted to all of the drivers. And on behalf of Team Goon Squad's broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth. We'll be pushing it out at 1080p, 60 frames a second here tonight, every Monday here at the FEG PC Series. Guaranteed to be a good one. Right now, drivers are in qualifying, trying to put down some hot laps. We're going to see which drivers have just left. I believe we saw Cody McCauley just left pit lane. We got Matthew Curry. He's out there putting down some laps, seeing if he can get down a fast qualifier. This is only round 2. A lot of these competitors are chasing after big money. There is over, I believe, going from memory here, I believe close to $2,000 worth of prizes allotted for the segment 2. They'll be giving away $1,000 to the overall winner, $250 for second place in the championship, $250 for third place in the championship, as well as something a little bit different here at FEGPC. They will be also giving a $250 payout to a random driver in the field. So even if you're out here racing, not being able to secure those top 3 points at the end of segment 2, still have a chance to bring home a substantial amount of money for the iRacing circuit. One of the best leagues in the business. Always a pleasure broadcasting their events and looking forward to another good race here. So we look at live time and his scoring currently shows Lee. He's been the man to beat. He puts down a 33.87, sits on top of provisional pole, followed by Michael Johnson, Cody McCauley, Stephen Page, Eric Parks, Cale Seaman, Jeffrey Radke, Kyle Rochelle, Joshua Doobie, and Buddy Pitts round out the top 10 on provisional pole. Looks like most drivers have went out and put down a qualifying. I still see about 3 people that have yet to do that. Jay Darger puts down a flyer. He does a 34.36 last time by compared to Matthew Lee's 33.93. So Darger's going to put down one more fast lap, see if he can make something happen, give him a little bit better qualifying spot here. But Darger in the number 57 machine, always a fan favorite week in and week out. Love hearing his interviews after the race, before the race. Great guy to talk to, a lot of fun to watch race, and he's going to try and keep it clean here tonight. As we go into round 2, right now Matthew Lee does lead the points championship after last week's doubleheader at Charlotte and Daytona. He's followed by Peyton Howell in second, and Kenneth McCullough Jr. currently our top 3 in points. Only about, let's see here. So McCullough sitting in third. He's only 16 points behind the leader, Matthew Lee, so not a large gap. About 20 points separates the top 4. Still lots of racing to go here in segment 2 of this season. You see a few more drivers taking the field tonight, guys that might have missed out on doubleheader last week, but still tons and tons around. This series runs till November 15th this year. So guys are going to be pushing hard, trying to get out there, trying to make themselves a little bit of money on one of the best leagues on the service. I, for one, am very excited. Getting the replay settled up here, getting everything ready to go. All right, so on pole tonight, it is going to be Matthew Lee in the 04 machine. Michael Johnson is going to start in second. That's going to round out your first row. You got Cody McCauley starting third, Stephen Page fourth, Eric Parks starting fifth, Jay Dargert starting sixth, Cale Seaman will be starting seventh tonight, Jeffrey Radke in eighth, Kyle Rochelle will be starting ninth, Joshua Doobie in 10th, Buddy Pitts starting 11th, and James Coffin's going to round out our top 12. Taking it a little bit further to the back, you got Matthew Curry starting 13th, Andrew Ewing in 14th, Jose Medina 15th, Chad Ross 16th, William Lothar will be starting 17th, Donald Stewart in 18th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting 19th, and then Joseph Burgess will round out our 20-truck field tonight. So not quite the amount of racers we've seen in the past, but still stacked with talent. A lot of these guys we've seen in different series around the FEG PC leagues, either it be in trucks or Cup Series, a lot of the fast guys showing up every night. They know what it takes to put it on the box, so looking forward to some more good, clean racing tonight. Statistical favorite's got to be Matthew Lee in that 04 machine, that Toyota. He's been pretty dominant all season long, be it in the Cup cars or the trucks. He's definitely one you want to keep an eye on. So Lee is probably the one with the biggest target on his back. You talk to the racers before the broadcast, and they're telling me, hey, I just want to beat Lee tonight. That's the goal. So Lee has a bunch of people trying to chase him down, so we'll see if he can maintain again tonight, or if it may be somebody else's turn to take the top spot. Again, 65% fuel allotment, only 2 tire sets available, so you will see a little bit different strategies developing on as the run develops. Most of these guys can go most of the race on 1 tank of gas, but tire wear is definitely going to be the issue tonight. These guys have to really pick and choose when they're going to use their 2 tires, especially if it's a green flag run all the way start to finish. As a racer and broadcaster, that's what we really like to see. We like to see those good green flag runs, gives the racers a different chance to develop everything, work on a little bit different strategy, and away we go. Matthew Lee with a spectacular launch. Lee gonna get almost a 4/10 gap right off the rip, and Michael Johnson sitting in second behind him. He's got Cody McCauley, Stephen Page. That's gonna be your battle for third. You see Page kind of get pushed that high line just a little bit. Definitely gonna see some different lines develop tonight. This Gateway Speedway, 2 very different sections of track. 1 and 2 much tighter than 3 and 4. So can't drive it like a cookie cutter, a standard 1.5 miles, and can't hold it wide like a speedway. So it's definitely a driver's track, as you'll see different lines develop as the runs go on. Looks like towards the back you got Jeffrey Radke in the 51 machine. He gets pushed wide and loses almost 5 positions so far early on the run. He's down to 13th place from 8th right now. So not what Radke wanted to see this early on. But for the most part, the field's being pretty patient, willing to tuck in single file and let the cards fall where they will for a little while, maybe click off some laps and then make moves. Nobody here wants to push too hard too early. They don't want to wear out their tires, and they don't want to risk making a mistake early on in the run. As it looks like almost the entirety of the field breaks it down single file, and they're pretty happy where they're at. Matthew Lee out front, he puts down the best lap time so far, a 33.96. He matches his qualifying time. Most of these guys are clicking off low 30s at the moment. You got Johnson and McCauley, they click off just about 34-second flat time. Stephen Page in 4th, he clicks off a 34.23. So if these guys can keep this up, you will see the field developing different little bit strategies, and they should get themselves to pace themselves out a little bit, maybe spread out. Right now, looks like Johnson and McCauley is our closest battle up here. They're in second. These guys are almost a second off from Matthew Lee already, so a big gap. They're going to have to see how the strategy develops. Some of these guys might be saving tires, trying to kind of average out their lap time and maybe get some better runs as the green flag keeps flying. And then you might see some guys like Matthew Lee. He's comfortable pushing pretty hard the entire way around, so we'll see if Lee might be on a slightly different tire strategy, or if he's just going to try and hammer down and get as much space as he possibly can and really hope for a green flag run. Jeffrey Radke did get a position back from Andrew Ewing. He's going to move up just a little bit. He's back up to 12th place. And behind him, you've got Chad Ross, Matthew Curry. That's your battle for 14th place. So from front to back, always good racing going on. Very clean racing. These guys race with each other multiple times throughout the week. Everybody's on a first-name basis. Even if you're not teammates, you know and respect the guys you're racing with. So that's probably one of the biggest benefits of running a private league, is you kind of get used to everybody. There's accountability tied to your name. And that's something you just can't quite get on the iRacing service elsewhere. Jeffrey Radke, he's a man on a mission. He's chasing down James Kaufman right in front of him. 2/10 a lap faster his last time by. You're going to see Radke maybe stick his nose to the inside, see if he can make something stick. And we've got smoke out front. Looks like that could have been Buddy Pitts or Eric Parks involved in a little bit of a slide there. Might have got a little rear end loose. Don't show any contact or yellow flags on live time and scoring, so guys able to keep control of their vehicles. Now a three-way battle for 12th developing. Looks like James Kaufman gets pushed to the high line as Chad Ross makes his way around. And now Kaufman's got Matthew Curry on the inside as well. Might be making a run at it here. Let's watch Curry in the 51 machine. He's going to get right behind the 25 of Kaufman. Not able to make it stick this time by. But we've seen he's got the pace. He gets low of Kaufman. Can he make it stick on this back straight? When he's holding that bottom line, he eats up a little bit more tires, and most importantly, has less drive out of the corner. So while it's a little bit easier to stick your nose in there and look like you're going to get a pass, it's really hard to keep the momentum all the way around. As we see Kaufman run that midline, but Curry is able to get clear of Kaufman, make a nice clean pass, and start working his way up. Chad Ross, he's all over the back of Andrew Ewing right now in that 19 machine. So far, very clean, respectable passing. Guys are shuffling back and forth. I think after the first few laps have clicked off, they're more willing to, different drivers are willing to work on different strategies as far as tire wear goes. It's a good indicator so far we went green. Maybe that'll be positive news for the rest of this racetrack. I mean, we love seeing green flag runs out here. Let's look just in front of Chad Ross. That's Jeffrey Radke. He's battling with Buddy Pitts and Joshua Doobie. It's a three-way battle going on right there between Pitts, Doobie, and Curly Radke's at the front. Look at Doobie. He's getting a charge down low of Pitts. That's a three-way battle for ninth going on right now. Looked to be in the beginning, the field was kind of stretching out just a little, but right now they're accordioning back up together. Still good battles going on. You've got Doobie and Pitts going back and forth at it for 10th place. Radke's able to get a little bit of space. Look at Pitts diving it down the inside. Going to try and make it stick on Joshua Doobie. Doobie running a spectacular American flag themed paint scheme tonight. Really cool to see the patriotic themes. We're always a big fan of them. Looks like Buddy might have slowed himself down there, run that low line, running door to door with Pitts. And that's going to allow Chad Ross in the 38 machine. Oh no, Buddy gets all the way to the inside, uses the grass, goes all the way out. I think Buddy managed to avoid hitting the wall there, but he is going to yield the position to Chad Ross as well. So these guys have a very set amount of traction and speed they can carry on this set of tires. Imagine a $1 bill, if you will. You can afford yourself a few pennies here and there of traction over this 100-lap race. But if you use too much too early on, that's going to leave you with a balance of zero traction here at the end. So very interested to see the different strategies that are going to work themselves out. Here's Kyle Rochelle in the number 1 machine. He's up 4 spots, moved his way up to 5th so far. Behind him, you've got Jay Darker, Cale Seaman, Eric Parks all in that clump together. I believe that's Parks in the number 4 machine. Also another really cool American flag theme. So Parks, he's getting a little bit rear end loose there in the number 4 machine. But he's going to try and reel in Mr. Seaman in front of him. That's Cale Seaman and the 17 machine. Parks following almost the identical line, tries to get a drive. You see Seaman gets a little bit loose. That rear of the truck starts waggling around, letting you know he's using every amount of throttle he can get away with. Parks going to dive it down low, see if he can make it stick. He can't drift up too much, leaving this corner though and carry his speed. Since the 17 machine's right there, so he's going to tuck back in line and maybe make it go at it the next corner. Looks to me like you're going to see most of your racing going into 3 and 4. Those wider corners allow racers to run that inside line versus that middle line. Gives them a little bit more chance to make a dive down low and get the front end of your truck in there. Jay Dargert with another good patriotic thing. He's in the Marine scheme tonight. Number 57 of Dargert looking absolutely spectacular. Another great paint job. Love to see it out of all these drivers. And here comes Eric Parks once more on the inside. Not sure if he's going to make it stick though, but it looks like Dargert runs, Seaman runs wide there, so that allows Parks to get around. Now Seaman's got the 51 machine of Jeffrey Radke in the mix as well. Radke's been following around Parks, Radke's been following around Parks, so he's trying to get quick work through Seaman, trying to get back up there and start clicking off laps behind the 4 machine. We'll cycle through the field here. We've got Michael Johnson. He's still running second, kind of in no man's land. He's got Matthew Lee in front of him, 1.5 seconds. He's got Cody McCauley behind him, 1.8 seconds. So these top 3 guys pretty spaced out. Speaking of McCauley, he's running third right now in the 62 machine. Behind him, Stephen Page is fourth in the 13 machine. Page is currently 2.5 seconds off right now. Lead pack still clicking off mid-35s this go around. So Lee put down a 35.11, Johnson put down a 35.23, McCauley put down a 35.32. These guys are already over a second off the pace from their began the race. But 18 laps in, tire wear is starting to become a factor, and then tire savings definitely a thing. These guys realizing we've made it almost 20 laps in so far. That is a good indicator of more green flag runs. So if they can just be content here and start clicking off laps, we can all get through this, and then you'll see a mad dash here at the end. Now, if we do see a caution past the 35 waypoint, you will expect to see drivers come in for tires and fuel. That way they know for sure they can make it to the end of the run. And then if we have another caution with about 35 to go, I think it's a safe bet. You'll see more guys coming in taking fuel tires for a final shootout here around Gateway Speedway. All the racing seems to be back here for 6. Darger's running that middle line. He's got 51 of Radke. Radke's up 1 spot so far. Darger's sitting exactly where he started at. So can the 57 machine fend off Radke, Parks, Seaman, Doobie? A bunch of fast guys stacking up behind him. But so far, this is definitely the battle right now. All these guys are trying to get up there and fight for 6. Every point matters in this long championship. If you're just catching the action tonight and you want in on some good, clean racing and a chance to win some good money, check out FEGPC.net. They make spectacular gaming computers for any sim enthusiast, be it Microsoft's Flight Simulator, DCS, iRacing, you name it. They can build or run it. And you can also sign up for their leagues through there. Not too late to get in. This is only race 3 of the series, so plenty of chances to get out there and get your shot to try and make it happen. Man, Darger's got a lot of fast guys behind him right now. Radke looks to the inside, Parks and Seaman follow, but that entire line kind of checks up for a second as Darger takes back down that preferred line. You can see a lot of guys running that high-low, high line, going through these corners, trying to carry as much speed by using every inch of good racetrack available. Now Jeffrey Radke, he's kind of exploring that middle line a little bit. He has time to figure out what's going to work, what's going to give him the absolute best drive and set himself up for success. Guys still clicking off mid 34, mid 35 lap times. That last time by, they actually a little bit faster, dropping mid 34s. So these guys are getting stacked up. Everybody's getting a good draft and carry a little bit more speed as we approach the quarter of the way mark. Now what's happening right now is Dargert has a good pace. He's just similar enough to Radke, Park, Seaman that they're not really able to get by cleanly. And what that does for the rest of the field is it starts stacking them up. You see the 17 of Seaman's, he's going to take a look on the inside of Parks. All these guys carrying really, really similar pace here. Speedway really able to do much. So when the field gets stacked up behind Darger right now, you got guys trading back and forth. And that's going to slow down those 3 trucks following Darger and Radke as they're battling for position instead of tucking in single file and waiting for Radke to try and get around Darger. Back here at 17th, we've got Jose Medina. He's running 17th place. He's down 2 spots. He's currently getting a tow from William Lothar, who's up 1 spot. The 47 machine of Lothar, he's a very, very fast driver we've seen out here in the league. He knows what it takes to run up front. Not having a good start so far tonight. He's going to try and hope for a caution to get the field stacked up, but I think he might have cooked his tires a little early as we see Lothar and Medina. These guys are clicking off 36s already. They're 2 seconds slower than what they did in qualifying, as tire wear makes these trucks very, very tight, especially through 1 and 2 where the corner gets so sharp. It makes it hard for the guys to push as hard as they normally want to. Still great racing up here. You see Jeffrey Radke diving to the inside of the Cale Seaman diving at the inside of Jeffrey Radke. That is our race for, they're trying to get, figure it out for 7th, but Dargert's still holding on strong, doing his best to fend everybody off from 6th. So Dargert had a little bit of bad luck last week in the doubleheader. He's trying to get back out here, salvage some points. And every time he gets those guys racing behind him between Radke, Seaman, Doobie, all those guys start battling for position, gives him a chance to breathe, maybe save a little bit more tires and help him out in the long run. All these guys putting down very, very similar lap times. Radke and Seaman both put down 36 flats, while Dargert put down a 35.8. Joshua Doobie, though, he puts down a 35.7. And look at Radke sticking it to the inside. He's going to get by Dargert. Dargert's falling off just a little bit. No, he manages to fend off Cale Seaman. But not sure for how much longer he's going to be able to do that, as these guys have shown they've got very, very strong pace. 1 car into the pits already. It's going to be Joseph Burgess. He's coming in early. Maybe going for a little bit of an undercut. He's really unhappy maybe with the tires and the setup, so he's going to try and make some adjustments, get back out there. With a 15-second pit stop, that's going to be 4 tires and fuel. So that might have been a chance to put on fresh tires, maybe do a little bit of math from his crew chief and say, hey, it's going to be quicker if we just bite the bullet, take some tires, and start running a faster pace. Dargert looks like he might have lost another spot right there. He's getting close to it. Cale Seaman, the 17 machine, all over that Marines truck right now. And really good racing. This live timing and scoring tower shows you just how strung out this field is. Between first and the last car on the track, which is going to be Kaufman right now, 32-second gap. These lap times are 35 seconds, so pretty soon you're going to expect to see Matthew Lee, Michael Johnson, Cody Cawley start running into traffic. As Lee is just a man on a mission. He's got 1.6 seconds over Michael Johnson in second and over a 5-second gap to third. So Lee able just to keep chugging along and make something happen. Now listen to Matthew Lee as he goes around these corners. This is something I haven't really seen out of other drivers yet. Almost sounds like he cuts the machine off mid-corner. So we'll wait as he goes into 3 and 4 here. Take a listen together. I'll be silent for a moment. So just listen to what the truck does here. So almost sounds like Lee kills power to the truck. Maybe saves a little bit of fuel going to the corners, and when he kind of dumps the clutch and gets it back to fire up, maybe it helps him rotate. I'm not sure what the strategy is there, but Lee, he's been a front runner in cars, he's been a front runner in trucks, so he's got something figured out very well that's obviously working for him as he stretched the gap to second to 1.8 seconds. Any second, though, now you're going to start seeing there just on time. You've got lap traffic in front of Lee that he will have to navigate. So Lee, the first car, I guess the current leader, he has the unfortunate part of being the first one to start coming around traffic. There's no blue flags on oval racing. Everybody's out there running their own race. It is kind of a gentleman's rule to give the preferred line to the leader, but if you're racing for position, you're racing for position. That is a big benefit, though, for Michael Johnson in second and Cody McCauley in third. After the leaders kind of broken through and given the heads up to lap cars, they'll be a little bit more aware that the lead pack is coming by them at this point. Let's see if Matthew Lee can make quick work of the 25 machine. That's going to be James Kaufman. He does. He's going to get by no problem. Kaufman gives him the line, does the professional moves. So very great to see. Look back here, we've got a great battle for 16th. This is going to be between William Lothar and Jose Medina. Both these guys having a pretty rough night, but just happy to be around here racing with somebody. There's nothing worse than getting out on a racetrack and being all by yourself for 100 laps. So good to see the field stretched out, still having somebody to battle with. Makes it a lot more fun for these racers instead of just kind of hot lapping by your lonesome. Look at that, Jay Dargert, fan favorite. He's coming to pit lane. He's going to take tires on lap 35, so he's making the executive decision to come in, take tires. Might be beneficial. You got Michael J. Johnson came in as well. So a couple of drivers are going to pit on this 35-lap window and maybe figure out a different strategy. Matthew Lee, your race leader, also coming in on lap 35. Green flag stops are my absolute favorite. Allows the field to get shaken up, see different strategies play out. Cody McCauley, second place. He's going to come in as well. Looks like Stephen Page is going to stay out for... Nope, Page is coming in as well. So a lot of the field coming in on this one, deciding to take tires and get things sorted. So that will be our first green flag stop of the night. So Joshua Doobie in that beautiful American flag machine. He's our current race leader. He stayed out, hasn't boxed yet. Cale Seaman right in tow of the 17 machine. These guys are up 9 and 5 spots respectively. Chad Ross currently up 13 spots since he hasn't pitted yet. So always really good to see what different type of strategies develop. Now we know Matthew Lee can click off high 34s. I believe he almost hit a 33 at one point. See if we can get Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee clicked off at 33.96, his best in the session with fresh tires. Current race leaders are putting down 36s. So if Lee can get out there and click off some fast laps, gain a second and a half or even a second per lap is huge on an oval. You should see him get back up there pretty quickly. A little bit of side-by-side action between Joshua Doobie, Cale Seaman. Excuse me, that's going to be Joshua Doobie and Jeffrey Radke. Radke coming out with fresh tires, still on the same lap. Radke makes quick work, gets his lap back. He's going to try and click off some laps here. As Josh Doobie just has the doors blown off of him. Those old tires, 38 laps old. Over 2 seconds slower. So Doobie's going to come in as well. And just like that, Matthew Lee's back up to second. You're going to see him click off into first here as he crosses the start-finish line. Lee currently has about a 1 second gap to Michael J. Johnson sitting in second. That's going to be Johnson and 39 machine. Both of these guys pit around the same lap. Johnson came in lap 34. Lee came in lap 35. Johnson clicked off an absolute flyer of a 33.99 as well. So both of these guys can run very similar pace. Both of them clicked off 34.10s last time by. The question is, what is the plan of these drivers? Are they going to try and maybe pit again on lap 70 or so if there's no cautions? Are they going to try and get a comfortable gap between Lee and Johnson and maybe stay out as long as they possibly can? Man, look at the field stacking up in front of Lee. His lap traffic is definitely going to be a factor. This is where things can get exciting. Everybody's on different tire strategies. Looks like pretty much the whole field has come in and gotten fresh tires at this point, so everybody's within 2 or 3 laps, similar tire sets. So everybody should be able to click off their roughly their best laps in the session here if they can get a draft partner to work with. Lee making quick work of lap traffic when given the opportunity. That's the number 19, Joseph Burgess. He's up 3 spots up to 17, so, I mean, he's moving up the field, but unfortunately he's a lap down. We've got about 7 drivers a lap down right now. You've got Joshua Doobie, Jose Medina, William Lothar, James Kaufman, Joseph Burgess, Buddy Pitts, Andrew Ewing, Donald Stewart, and Joshua Doobie. We do have our first yellow flag of the night. Looks like Doobie's going to be involved in that. Let's see if we get an instant replay of that. Doobie looks like he might have just touched a little bit of apron there, perhaps. Or he very well just could have got the car unsettled. Yeah, it looks like maybe he just got a little bit loose, holds on to it, and manages to get it safely in the grass. So with our first caution of the night, we'll take a short commercial break here at the almost halfway point and be right back to the action. And we're back with the action. So yeah, that was Joshua Doobie having a single truck incident. Everyone stayed out this time. These guys only pitted about 8 laps ago. They're side to side. Hey, tires are good enough. We're good on fuel. Let's keep this track position, see where the cards settle. But you're going to see the field stack up double file and get ready for the restart. It's going to be Matthew Lee still out front, definitely one of the dominant drivers. Michael Johnson will be in second, Stephen Page third, Kyle Rochella in fourth, and Jeffrey Radke will be in fifth. A lot of very fast drivers as we get ready for one more time by. We're going to see that iRacing pace car turn the lights off, drop it in, and get ready to send these boys out once more. So not a bad night when you get to the pretty much halfway point before any cautions come out. Unfortunately, it looks like Doobie just had bad luck with those fresh tires and sent it sliding around. So hate to see it for such a talented driver out here. All eyes will be on Matthew Lee for this restart, our current points leader in the series of segment 2. So Matthew Lee sitting in first. He's current points leader. Second place points in third, Peyton Howell and Kenneth McCullough Jr. Unfortunately, nowhere to be found. Powell was unable to make the race tonight. Kenneth McCullough Jr. third in points. He's sitting in 12th right now, so not what he wanted to see for himself, but still plenty of racing. 56 laps to go before he can try and get back up there, maybe save some points and try and knock Mr. Matthew Lee off the throne. Field is formed up, ready to go. We did see 2 drivers come in pit lane that cycle. That's going to be Cody McCauley, Joseph Burgess, and they get 3 drivers. Buddy Pitts came in as well, so all these guys realizing, you know what, I'm better off with 4 tires. Let's try and get out there and just charge as hard as we can. But let's get ready to go. We're going to watch Matthew lead, Michael J. Johnson. Those are the eyes everyone's watching. The 04, the 38, 39. Absolutely dominant trucks here tonight. Does Johnson have anything for Matthew Lee? Is everybody just so similar paced here? They're going to file single file once more. Pace car is in. We're waiting for the green flag. And away goes Matthew Lee. Great launch. He's going to dive to the outside, carry that fast line as much as he can. Michael Johnson's going to sit in second. But right behind Johnson, you've got Kyle Rochelle. Rochelle's up 6 spots so far, currently sitting third with that number 1 truck tonight. And a lot of dicing going on back here. You see Jeffrey Radke, the 51 machine. He's going to look inside of Stephen Page. Page drops low. Does not give Radke the line. Jay Dargert, he's sitting 6th still. So managing to keep it up there pretty good. A lot of side-by-side action at the back, though. These guys are pushing as hard as they can. They've got relatively fresh tires. Everybody's got them scuffed in. Got them heated up. That's the best thing for them. And not so late in the run where you get wheel spin on the launch. So let's look at Eric Parks, Chad Ross, a bunch of fast guys. A lot of trucks rear end wiggling, putting down the power as hard as they possibly can. And we know the age-old saying, cautions breed caution, so you get the field stacked back up like this. A lot of guys that think they have the pace to run up front and have the lap times to prove it are going to be charging around traffic, maybe willing to make a little bit more gutsy passes than they have been in the past. But so far, everybody's playing it pretty safe, being pretty respectful. You see Chad Ross keep hinting at a pass at Eric Parks, but not able to really get it where he wants to make it clean. These guys have driven around on terrible tires. They know what it's like to kill a tire set early. They don't want to do it. Jeffy Radke getting pushed to the inside. Now that's going to be Jay Dargert on the inside. Dargert's going to stick it low going into 1 and 2. Can he make it stick? We know that middle line is preferred for carrying more speed out right now. Dargert gets a little bit loose. Eric Parks checks up to avoid run over the back of Dargert. It's going to slow that whole line up. Then you can see guys get a little bit 2x2 as they don't know what's going on in front of them. They just see a truck just ahead of them that's a little bit slower. Here comes Cale Seaman on the inside of Chad Ross as well. Seaman running that low line, great for passing, not so great for carrying speed out. He's got Chad Ross on the inside. They're both going to push up the track. Seaman ducks back down low, can't get himself clear. He's going to be penciled on that low line one more time by, but Eric Parks also slowing down just a little bit, but man, Seaman's kind of stuck on that low line, can't carry any speed. Here comes Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's going to try to make something work on the high line. Backs off just a little bit. You can see where these guys settle. And then Cody McCauley, and I believe that's Matthew Curry. That's your battle for 11. So a lot of action going on across the racetrack. Not really any lulls, not a lot of single file follow the leader. Everybody racing for a spot here. Kenneth McCullough Jr., he's currently battling with Cody McCauley in the 62 machine. And the Realtree sponsored 03 truck looking very nice. You can barely see him with all the camo, so well done to McCullough with a great paint scheme. Man, Cody McCauley all over the back of Kenneth McCullough Jr. here. You're on board with Cody McCauley right now. Gives you an idea of just how much these guys are having to lift and how hard they hammer back on the throttle. A very, very tough track to figure out and go fast on consistently. It's easy to put down a few flying laps and just murder your tires, but as the run develops, that will not work out for you. Chad Ross getting edged out by Cale Seaman there. Seaman on the low line. Not sure if he's going to be able to get clear on the high side. He is not. He's door to door with Mr. Ross. Ross absolutely not going to yield him the race line right there. He wants to carry as much speed, but here comes the 62, Cody McCrawley. He wants in on the action as well. Kenneth McCullough Jr. is reeling him in. They're going almost 3 wide there. A little bit of door touch and letting your competitors know, hey, I'm right here. Looks like we got a crash. James Kaufman goes for a spin. So that will bring out our second yellow of the night on lap 53. Let's see if we get a replay of Kaufman going for a ride. What goes on with Mr. Kaufman here? Just gets loose all by himself, goes for a ride. Oh, who was that right behind him? Just barely made it out. Well done to Kaufman for another single truck incident and save. So, I mean, you hate to see somebody crash, but that is the best case scenario as far as crashes go. You walk away with a relatively clean truck, nobody else involved, so well done to these drivers. That's why you have the best in the business out here. These guys all know how to wheel and deal. Even if you see somebody out here that's 3-4 seconds off the pace as the run develops, these guys are no joke. They're all professionals in their own right and faster than the average guy you'll meet at iRacing. Kenneth McCullough Jr., he's going to come into pit cycle that go around. Jose Medina will as well. So McCullough, he's currently our driver to watch. He's currently sitting in 12th before he took this pit stop. He is 3rd place in points, so if anybody's going to make up some ground, it's going to be him. Johnson, though, he's running 2nd, currently 4th in points. Johnson, after the doubleheader, he's down by 19 points. So a 2nd place finish would be very, very big for him. Get him a little bit closer up in the running, but when Matthew Lee's up there scoring bonus points, it's going to be hard for the rest of the field to really knock him off the throne. These guys, granted, it is early on in a season. It's really hard to see where things are going to play out because racing is racing. People have good days. People have bad days. They've got sometimes commitments where they can't make it to the virtual racetrack, but right now, Lee's putting on a pretty dominant performance and proving he's got what it takes to bring home the grand prize at the end of the season. I'm very curious to see if McCullough or Michael J. Johnson can salvage some points here. As we're going to enjoy a little bit of eye pacing at our 2nd caution, 55 laps to go. Looks like Lee and Johnson, our race leaders, are going to stay out. We saw McCullough Jr., he came in, took tires. Might have only taken 2 tires. It shows him with a 6.78 second pit box, so definitely not a full 4-tire stop. But man, Matthew Lee and Michael Johnson, our current points leaders and race leaders, putting on a very good show tonight. Now Kyle Rochelle, he's currently in 3rd. Rochelle, I do not believe, was at the opening round, missed the doubleheader of Charlotte and Daytona. So Rochelle has no points so far out of 21 drivers that have put down a race result here. So again, early on in the season, you're going to see a lot of drivers mixing it up. Just because people didn't make it to the first 3 races doesn't mean you can't get out of here and still have a good shot at it. Anything can happen. I'd again, once again, thank everybody on behalf of FEGPC.net and their spectacular sim computers, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. We thank you spending your Monday evening with us. No better place for your online source of entertainment. Watch some professional athletes make their way around a virtual speedway. Always a lot of good fun watching and announcing these guys. Just always impressed by the caliber of racers you have out here. Where else can you see so many single car incidents? Avoid the big ones and just good, clean racing. And as a reminder to our spectators at home, only 2 sets of tires available. That's why you're going to see Matthew Lee Johnson maybe stretch out this run a little bit, try and get closer to 70. Maybe you might see another caution before they come in and think about tires. They've only got 1 set remaining, I do believe. with about 43 laps left. These guys have a little over 20 laps on these set of tires, so paces will be definitely falling off at this point. At this point in the run, drivers are going to have to worry about wheel spin coming off the line. These guys have had, again, 20 to 25 lap old tires. They're hot, they're greasy from athletes just ripping around the speedway. Let's watch Matthew Lee, Michael J. Johnson. Lee's been getting great starts all night. There he goes. Johnson doesn't yield too much, but look at Kyle Rochelle in the number 1 machine. He's got a great run. Not sure if he's going to be able to stick it on the inside of Johnson here. He's not. He's going to fall single file through 1 and 2, the tighter of the 2 corners here around Iowa. Excuse me, Gateway. But Stephen Page makes a great pass in the high line. He gets around Jeffrey Radke on that one, so that was a really good pass. So pretty much everybody up here in the top 10 on a very similar tire strategy. Everybody came in between lap 34 and 37. Looks like everybody took 4 tires except Cody McCauley. He came in on lap 44 with only a 4.77 second pit stop. Stephen Page all over the back of Kyle Rochelle right here. The 13's pushing that number 1 down the straightaway. He takes a quick peek to the inside, see if he might see a spot, decides better of it. He's going to fall around one more lap, but look at the 2 wide action right behind him. You've got Jeffrey Radke, Jay Dargert going side by side. Dargert's going to have the worst of the one on that one. Oh no! That's Dargert gets a little bit loose into the wall. It's going to slow him down a bunch as Eric Parks, Cale Seaman, they're going to battle behind him, try and find a way through. Dargert's making it 3 wide. Not sure if he does that on purpose or if he's just holding on for dear life and white knuckling that number 57 machine. But here comes Eric Parks with a big run, and here comes 17, Cale Seaman as well. Parks going to dive it up the inside of Dargert. Seaman's going to try and follow as well. Dargert still run that high line, carries a little bit more speed, but I think Cale Seaman's going to have it right here. Seaman not able to get a run. Parks does. They're going to go 2 by 2 through this next corner. Oh, that's tough as the trucks get tightened up. And here comes Chad Ross, 38 machine. He's on the inside. Cale Seaman trying to make something happen. Now it's Radke's turn Dargert's turn to give Parks a push down that straightaway. He's trying to get a little bit of speed, keep Cale Seaman from making a line. Seaman running the absolute lowest line he possibly can, seeing what's going to stick. And you just see the slide angle these trucks are carrying out of that corner as guys are hard on the gas. Able to get away a little bit more throttle at this point. Tires are starting to get fairly worn out, almost 30 laps into their run. Great racing from all these guys tonight. Buddy Pitts, he's coming into pit lane, might be getting some work done on his truck, trying to make some more adjustments, just not coming to grips with the Speedway tonight. But right now, all eyes are on 8th place, that battle. We got big smoke, big problems. Not sure what's going on up there. That could be the battle between Stephen Page. Cody McCauley looks like he's off the pace a little bit. Here comes Jeffrey Radke with a great run. Look at Page, he's going to dive down in low of the 62 machine. That's Cody Raleigh in front of him. McCauley throws a block, doesn't allow Page to get that preferred inside line. Radke's falling in tow, so just one mistake can cost you a few positions and check up a bunch of the field. Got about 36 laps to go here at this race tonight. If you do see another caution tonight, you can expect to see those top guys coming in, maybe for their final set of tires. Plan on making it the rest of the night, maybe just do a 2-stop run. If the leaders do keep up with the same pit strategy all night, between laps 70 and 75, you can expect them to think about coming in for tires unless they're strategizing for just a 1-stop run. Going to try and stay out there as long as they possibly can. Get a little bit of a gap. Speaking of gap, Matthew Lee's got a pretty substantial one. He's up over 0.8 seconds in second place, Michael Johnson. Johnson over about 2 seconds in third place, Kyle Rochelle. So not a lot of Not a huge gap from what we've seen earlier on the night as guys start saving tires a little bit as this thing develops, but definitely not very close by any stretch of the imagination. Lee, one of those drivers you can expect to hammer down as people get closer to him, so a very, very smart racer. Lee up there in no man's land, but Michael Johnson's whittled down the gap to about 0.8 seconds. And you once again hear that that truck go on and off of the 04. I'm not sure if he's just clutching and releasing or actually fully turning off the 04 machine. But Lee's got something pretty good figured out there. We're going to have to ask him in the post-race interview, and if he won't discuss it on camera, we'll try and get a private statement from the 04. We're looking at live time and scoring. A lot of guys are pretty spaced out here. Usually a few tenths are separating everybody. Cody McCauley slowly reeling in. It looks like Kyle Rochelle is in third. McCauley, he did a 35.17 last time by compared to Rochelle, who did a 35.29. The tire strategy is the name of the game tonight. Is McCauley using every ounce of traction he can and kind of cooking up tires as this run develops? Or is Rochelle falling off due to already using his? So always interesting to see what goes on behind the scenes. These guys have real crew chiefs, real spotters, helping to make the thing, helping strategize their racecraft. If you've never had the chance to race with a real spotter, it is an absolute game changer. They provide more information than pretty much anybody can. Any built-in computer or third-party app you can run, and they can tell you what's going on ahead of you, behind you, read off the different pit strategies of different drivers, let you know what their pit deltas are. So an invaluable asset. See Jeffrey Radke, he's down 5 spots. He comes into pit that lap. Jay Dargard, no matter where you always pan to, you can count on Dargard to have trucks around him and he's being in a race, whether he wants to or not. Right now, Dargard's got Chad Ross and 38 machine all over him, but just a stack of talented drivers. He's got Ross, Curry, Medina all right behind him. All really fast drivers, and less than a second separates everybody. Dargard is down 2 spots. Here comes Jeffrey Radke on the inside. So Radke with new tires, he pitted lap 68. Trying to get his lap back, making his way through this lead pack. He's going to be able to do so fairly quickly, I think, with those new tires. So getting new tires to kind of re-ups that $1 balance of traction we were talking about. Allows you to go back out there and hammer down a little bit longer. Lap 71 so far of this race, 29 to go. Most guys on the same tire strategy. Chad Lee, Michael Johnson, those guys both hit a lap around 34-35. They are slowing down drastically. So Lee did a 35.2 last time by. Johnson did a 35.29. These guys are just getting close to that 2 second off their pace, their best pace. Jay Dargard coming into pit lane. Andrew Ewing doing the same. They're going to come in for tires. This is going to be their last tire set of the night. But how far out is Matthew Lee and Michael J. Johnson going to stay with tires? Both of these guys have anywhere between a 2 to 4 second gap to those behind them. We see Michael J. Johnson. He's going to come into pit lane. He's going to take tires and go back out there. So Matthew Lee all by his lonesome. Let's see if Lee stays out here or if he's going to get ready to pit as well. Michael J. Johnson just hit his pit box. We're going to see how long he's in there for if he's taking 4 tires. Matthew Lee coming in. Now Kyle Rochelle, currently our race leader, he's going to click off some laps. Now Rochelle also will probably be pitting soon. His last pit window was lap 35, so the top 4 still on the track, all pitted between lap 35 and 37, so fairly old tires, almost 40 laps old at this point. But here you can see Rochelle come in as well. He's going to take tires. As the field once more gets shuffled up, it looks like Lee's going to come in for 4 tires. Johnson did as well. I believe Cawley and Curry will be taking 4 tires in their pit boxes tonight. And now Eric Parks is going to get a lap led. So Parks still hasn't pitted since his lap 35 window. Expect to see him coming in soon, but he might be happy just getting his sponsors a little bit of exposure as he runs out front. The 04 machine looking spectacular tonight, keeping it clean thus far. So Parks did click off a 36 flat. So he's about a second and a half slower than most of these guys are able to do with fresh tires. So over this short racetrack, he's got to hammer down if he's going to try and do maybe an overcut. Not sure if he's going to try and stay out as long as he can or if he's content just clicking off a couple laps in the lead, maybe run that fuel down a little bit lower, and then come in for his 4 tires. And just like that, Parks is going to bring it in as well. Now we've got Jose Medina. He's out front. He'll be our race leader of the 24 machine. Behind him, Jay Dargert, who is a lap down. Medina has not pitted since lap 54, so definitely an older set of tires. He might be going for the overcut. Maybe it's going to help him out a little bit, but man, he gets the doors blown off him, as I believe it's Dargert and who else is that number? That's going to be Dargert and Stephen Page get their lap back. So Medina's going to try and stay out front, just keep clicking off time. He currently has an 8.3 second gap to second place. That's William Lothar, our favorite Canadian. Lothar currently showing second place off 15 spots, but Lothar as well hasn't pitted since lap 42. So Lothar clicking off 36 is 2 seconds slower than Matthew Lee, who is in third place. Lothar is going to bring it in this time by. So if I'm doing my broadcaster math right, which is always a terrifying thing, Jose Medina has about 15 laps until Matthew Lee catches him and makes a pass at the paces they're currently going. That all depends if Jose Medina can still click off 36 flats, while Matthew Lee, he did a 34.2 his last time by. So the math is not currently in Medina's favor, but it may work out as the run develops. He might be able to gain a few spots just by that. Maybe not a win tonight, but every single point helps as Medina tries to get himself back into the points. Medina currently 5th in points, about 23 behind from your leader, Lee. So Matthew Lee, he's about 14 seconds back from Medina right now. So about 7 laps at this pace, and he will catch Medina and regain the lead. Behind Lee, Michael J. Johnson, he's sitting third in the 39 machine. Also clicking off mid to high 34 lap times. So Medina did pick up the pace a little bit right there. He clicks off a 35.86. But Lee and Johnson both clicking off those mid 34s. So not looking good for Medina to hold on to the lead if he can stay out here. Not sure if Medina has another set of tires left in reserve or if he's used both of his sets so far tonight. 21 laps to go, a 13-second gap from first to second. Medina, always a great guy to talk to. The Ducati paint schemes always looking great in the 24 machine. A driver that kind of switches up the paint schemes every now and then, which is always cool from a broadcaster's point of view. Great to see the teams putting in work both on and off the track. Either they're working on strategies, setups, or maybe even just putting out some great new paint schemes every week. Always a lot of fun to watch these different racers develop throughout the field and continue getting faster and faster. 12 trucks still on the lead lap tonight, 19 to go. Medina doing a pretty good job. It's only 11.5 second gap to Lee, so Lee not gaining as much time as I thought. Lee's clicking off about 35-second lap times right now. So not what you expect out of the 04 machine. Now Lee may have been battling a little bit with lap traffic, which will slow his pace down just a bit. And that's going to allow Michael J. Johnson, he closes the gap to Lee down to 3 seconds and closing right now. So about 10 laps to go, I think you're going to see some things really, really shake up. As Lee puts down a 35.22 his last time by, Jose Medina puts down a 36.43. Michael Johnson puts down a 35 flat. So Johnson putting down some great pace here. You see one driver going off track. I think we're going to be able to keep it green, which is what everybody wants right now. I don't think any of our competitors want to see a yellow unless they have a set of tires still in reserve. That could be Jose Medina. He might have a set left, and if he does, he will be looking very, very good. If we do get a caution, he's allowed to get 4 tires in that bad boy. Right now, Medina's got an 8.5-second gap to Matthew Lee. Lee is charging hard with over a second faster a lap here. So I think around lap 9 or 10, you're going to see these guys come together and we'll have a battle for the lead. But Medina just nursing those tires at this point, not able to put down as good of a drive as everyone else, just on very, very old tires. His last pit window is lap 54. That is a very long time on one set of tires, especially on a racetrack here like Gateway, where you're just working those tires to death around that very tight turn 1 and 2. Now a 6.5-second gap to Lee. Lee is charging hard. He clicks off a 34.82 that time by, so Lee is getting back on the gas. He might have seen Michael J. Johnson reeling in just a little bit and realizes, hey, it's time to go. If there is an incident, I want as many trucks between us as possible. But Jose Medina, he's happy to be out front, click off some laps led here, get some good exposure to the sponsors. Truck's looking great. Loving the look of the 24 machine. I can't say enough good things about it. That's a great looking paint scheme. But unfortunately for Medina, you can hear the Jaws theme playing in the background as Matthew Lee has whittled that gap down to 4.7 seconds, and he's closing fast. Still just about a second faster per lap. So it looks like lap 10 will be the moment of truth for Medina. If he can get a caution and still have tires left, he'll be looking pretty good. But right now, he's got second, third, fourth place all clicking off lap times over a second faster than him. The undercut may not work to his favor tonight. Get you an idea of just how spread out this field is here. Such a cool wide-angle shot here at Gateway. One camera can cover it from the grandstands. We'll go back to Jose Medina. That's going to be the number 78 machine, Donald Stewart, getting a lap back. Not all of the lap back, but it's going to put him a little bit closer to the lead lap. If he can get maybe a caution come out, he'll be in better shape for a lucky dog. Stewart came in last time around on lap 81, so it gives you an idea of just how much faster you can be. 12 laps to go, though. Matthew Lee just under 3 seconds off of first place. Jose Medina. Let's look at Jay Darger, and he's right behind Kyle Rochelle. Rochelle did get around him that last time. Rochelle got around Stephen Page and Jay Darger, so Rochelle, he pitted lap 74, Darger pitted 71, Page pitted 74. So very similar tire strategy, but it looks like that rear bumper of Darger's machine might be a little bit crumpled now. He might have gotten a love tap from one of our other racers. Jose Medina has less than a 1.2 second gap. Here comes Matthew Lee, the back of the screen. Lee on a much fresher set of tires, still clicking off just about a second a lap faster. Medina, I don't think he's going to get that caution and extra set of tires he was looking for. But I think it will help him out greatly in the overall points chase. He's got Matthew Lee less than a half second behind him now. Here comes Lee all over. Should be able to make quick work of Medina, but neither one of these drivers want to interfere with each other and cause an incident. It is way too late in the run, 10 laps to go. Here comes Lee. Lee's got a little bit more in the traction bank he can use. He gets out of the inside of Medina. Will he get clear? Man, Lee able to hold just so much of a tighter ride. Those fresh tires. Gonna get clear on the outside. That's your new race leader, Matthew Lee, for P1. So now behind Medina in second, he's got Michael J. Johnson 2.2 seconds back. He's got Cody McCauley 3.4, and then Jeffrey Radke's about 12 seconds back. So Medina's still looking very good for a top 5 finish tonight if he can hold on to it. Which every little bit helps in the points, but man, look at Matthew Lee just checking out now. As Medina does his best to hold on with such a tight truck. 9 laps to go. Here comes Michael J. Johnson on the right side of your screen. He sees Medina in his sights. Having that rapid chase always makes you just a little bit faster. Oh, look at Michael J. Johnson. He's got him in his sights. He wants second place. He wants to keep that good points lead he's got so far. I guess that second place points lead. Now, excuse me, but Johnson's actually in 4th place in points. So this will be very, very big since Howell and McCullough Jr. aren't up here at the front. That's 2nd and 3rd in points. That'll be a great chance for Michael J. Johnson to gain some points. And Jose Medina, 5th in points, is helping himself out as well. So Johnson's going to make pretty quick work of Medina. Medina, he's got Cody McCauley now behind him. McCauley's less than a second. You'll see McCauley in 62 machine. 7 laps to go. I don't think Medina's going to have anything for McCauley. So McCauley, we're expecting to come by the next 2 or 3 laps. And then if Medina can just hold off in 4th, that'll be putting himself in a good place to gain some more points tonight. Move himself up the ladder. Here comes McCauley in the 62 machine. Gets a great drive on the outside. Doesn't want to pinch Medina too bad, but I think he's going to get down to the preferred line, get clear, and then check out. You see poor Medina, I think he did come in for tires there, so not what Medina wanted. If he could able to stretch it out 5 more laps, he would have been in a much better position. But now it's like Radke's going to take over 4th. Parks will take over 5th, and Medina's going to see himself falling down. Hate to see that for Medina. Not sure if he didn't have the fuel to make it all the way to the end or not, but that is absolute heartbreak for the 24 machine. But once again, with 5 laps to go, the man who's been dominant all season long, Matthew Lee's got a comfortable lead. He's got a 2-second gap over Michael J. Johnson in second. Cody McCauley also, he's up 2 seconds back from Johnson, so a total of 4 seconds back from Lee. The top 3 of the field pretty well and strung out here. Lee's going to get around lap traffic. That's the 38 machine, Chad Ross, trying to stay on the lead lap, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it happen. Ross's last pit stop was lap 70. These guys are on similar tires, but Lee's just been so dominant all night long. I believe Ross is going to try and yield the position there, maybe give Lee the preferred line. Lee's going to get clear, nice and tidy. The 38 machine is going to put Ross 1 lap down. So now only 10 drivers still on the lead pack. It's 2 to go here at Gateway. Michael Johnson, 1.6 seconds in closing. He's about 3/10 faster than Lee that last lap, but I think he doesn't have enough time unless he left a whole lot of traction in reserve. It'll be white flag next time by as Lee takes the start-finish line. White flag is out. It is Matthew Lee's show pretty much from start to finish. Final time by, you see Michael J. Johnson in the background, but he's 1.75 seconds back. Doesn't really have anything for Lee at this point. He's got to be happy with second, which is no small feat in itself. He's going to move up in points. McCauley's going to move up in points. Checkered flag is out. It is once again your winner for the unofficial results will be Matthew Lee, followed by Michael J. Johnson. Cody McCauley will cross in third. Great, clean racing here tonight. Love to see it from all the guys. With our unofficial results, the fireworks are out. We're going to see Lee do his victory lap and then absolutely burn it down here tonight. He's going to make it another one in the book for him. So that's going to be the third win in a row for Mr. Matthew Lee. So no small feat. He pulls off the hat trick in the 04 machine. He's going to burn it down for everybody at home. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your race winner, Matthew Lee. Well done to Mr. Matthew Lee. He's been put on a spectacular performance tonight. Really every night so far. Won back-to-back in the doubleheaders. He wins for a third time in a row, so well done to Lee. Very good to see him. We're going to wait for Cody McCauley, Michael Johnson, and Matthew Lee make their way to the victory lane for post-race interviews. And we'll take a look at your unofficial results here. So again, unofficial results, but it's going to show Matthew Lee up front, Michael J. Johnson second, Cody McCauley third, Jeffrey Radke fourth, Eric Parks fifth, Kyle Rochelle will be in sixth, Cale Siemens seventh, Jay Darger in eighth, Matthew Curry ninth, Stephen Page in 10th, Chad Ross 11th, William Lothar 12th, Jose Medina 13th, James Kaufman in 14th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 15th, Donald Stewart 16th, Joseph Burgess in 17th, Andrew Ewing in 18th. And finally, it's going to be Buddy Pitts and Joshua Doobie round out the field. Two drivers that are very talented, just had a really rough night. But let's get the guys to the pit lane party. All right, up first, you're going to have Cody McCauley. McCauley put on a dominant performance tonight, managed to bring it home in third place. McCauley, do you read me?
Yes, sir.
Cody, great run tonight, man. Ended up third. Not the top spot of the podium, but still a great place to be in, especially after missing the double header of round one. So some much-needed points here tonight.
Yeah, we had a pretty good night. Not our best racetrack. I think I've actually run here before one time, and it was an Indy car. So tonight was definitely a lot different than what I'm used to. But overall, had a good run. A lot of clean racing. Tried to do a little bit of pit strategy there. Didn't really work out, so I had to come back from the back. So really tickled with how we ran. Being able to come from the back up to third. Just really proud of my guys on the team.
Now, McCauley, you can see just how tough these trucks are to drive as the run develops. It just kills tires here at this kind of odd-shaped racetrack. 1 and 2 super tight, 3 and 4 is a little bit more open. Was there any passing opportunities going into 1 and 2 in tonight, or was it more of a safe bet just to follow in line for a little bit and get run down the back straight?
You're better off just trying to feel everything out. It seemed like if you went early, it really hurt you later in the run. I think the second set of tires we both on the car, I tried to rip through traffic pretty quick, and it really hurt me once I got up to the top five. I couldn't make a move, so just tough when it's a one groove racetrack like that, especially in 3 and 4. It's hard to get that run and really get off the corner and get up underneath somebody.
McCauley, still a great performance tonight. Glad to see you up here on the podium. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Want to thank 62 Designs. You guys go check them out on Facebook. Some of the best painters on iRacing, hands down. Delta 9, they came on board for this little series deal, so really excited for them. Go check them out on Instagram. It's Delta 9 PA. Everybody on 62 Design Motorsports, they all did a great job tonight. My buddy Kale and Buddy, they did a good job getting us through traffic, kind of hanging out with us, so can't thank them enough.
Awesome. Well, McCauley, good to see you up here. We hope to see you doing just as well next week. We appreciate you.
For sure. Thank you.
All right, up next, you got your second place finisher. That's going to be Michael J. Johnson with a great run tonight, salvaging some points and kind of moving up the ladder a little bit. But Johnson, do you read me?
Yeah, I got you.
Johnson, that's a tough racetrack to go fast on, but you did a great job. Managed to salvage a little bit of points tonight. How are you feeling after that one?
That was a tough race. I've not got a whole lot of laps at this track. Really, really just had to sit in line and try to hope Matthew would make a mistake, because anything you get within half a second, I was plowing tight, so I just had to fall back to keep from burning my stuff up, and tried to undercut him on the pit strategy, but that didn't work out for us.
Well, it definitely seems like a very tough track to go fast at. I know you say you've had limited race here. Did you find the truck just unenjoyable to ride as the run progressed?
No, I had fun driving the truck. I like to, have to shift in both ends of the track to make speed, and that's different than your normal oval. Just really just a one groove racetrack, and fixed setup. It's hard to make a pass when you got guys out there that's running about the same speed.
Well, Johnson, still a great performance tonight. Definitely moving up the points, and he might be a little bit closer to winning the big money at the end of the season. Before we let you go, any sponsors or friends you want to thank?
Yeah, thank all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports, and then we've got Circle B Diecast and Plan B sales on the truck. Use code KR2021 to get free shipping at checkout, and then congrats to Matt on that win.
Awesome, Johnson. We look forward to seeing you doing well next week. We'll see you then, sir.
Sure.
All right. Up next, we got Mr. Hat Trick himself, Matthew Lee in the 04 machine. Makes it 3 in a row. Matthew, do you read me?
Yeah, I got you.
Matthew, another one to check off. It looks like you're going to extend that points lead just a little bit further coming out of here at Gateway Speedway.
Yeah, it looks so.
Now, Matthew, all the other drivers said, hey, we haven't really ran this track much. I think maybe because they don't enjoy it that much. Is this a new experience to you, or is it kind of familiar territory?
It's a little familiar territory. Last season, we ran it with Just League, so I'm pretty familiar with it with previous leagues of his, and always run pretty well here. All right, so for some reason, these weird tracks that are kind of difficult to get around, I find a way to find lines around them that work pretty well for me.
Now, Matthew, I listen to your onboard every week. Now, going to these corners, are you doing a lot of shifting at this track, or do you have something else going on?
Yeah, I definitely rely on shifting quite a bit, especially to get the momentum of the truck slowed down, and then to get it rotated through the corner here. These corners are really weird, and any little bit of extra rotation you can get with the truck when they're this tight can definitely help.
Yeah, it looks like guys were absolutely plowing the front end, but, I mean, great job. 3 in a row. You went from Charlotte, a cookie cutter, Daytona, a super speedway, now you're here to Gateway, kind of in a league by itself. Hoping to see more good performance out of you. I mean, I think everybody expects that you're the man to beat, the biggest target right now. Before we let you go, any friends, sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I gotta thank all the guys over at CGE, Martin Sports, Shindo Shine, GTR Simulators, and Marconi Setup Shop. You guys for the broadcast, and Jeff for the league, and once again.
Awesome. Well, that's Matthew Lee, race leader, winner, 3 in a row. Current guy on top of the championship chase, but we'll see you next week, Lee.
Thank you.
All right, that is going to round out the broadcast tonight. Another great race here at the FEG PC Truck Series. Check them out every Monday night, same time, same place. Some of the best racers on the service. On behalf of FEGPC.net and Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, it's been an absolute pleasure being here. We'll see you all next week.